Things are about to get really strange in Brawl Stars. Again, a new update is coming in. I've got some ideas on what's going to be in it. Things like a new environment or two, more Star Park information, a new brawler, and more. Hey everyone, what's happening? Lex back today for another Brawl Stars video, and today we are going to be going over some clues about the next update coming to Brawl Stars. Now we've got a bunch of things to look at, and some of it may seem a bit strange, but stick with me to the end and we'll see if we can unravel some of the mystery that is coming in this update. Now there's a ton to cover here. I don't even hardly know where to begin, but let's start off with you using code LEX for this update. That's what you should be doing. See how I smoothly went into that? Or maybe not so smoothly. I don't know, but if you guys are going to be spending any gems in game, be sure to use code LEX. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does really help support me, this channel, and my family. And from me, my wife, 7 kids, cat, and dog, we appreciate you guys very, very much. Really, I couldn't do this without you guys, so thank you very, very much. Let's just start off with the environments and the brawler trios. Now, currently, there are 2 trios in the game that do not have an environment made for them. First off is the botanist trio of Bee, Rosa, and Sprout. Now, I know that there is a jungle environment, but that's been out of rotation in the game for quite some time, as well as that would belong to the shaman trio of Nita, Leon, and Bo. Although over on Twitter, Unibrows did post this really cool concept for a botanist trio. Really cool. Well done, Unibrows. Now, the second trio that does not have an environment is only a single brawler at the moment, and that's Stu. I've read a lot of people speculating that Stu is part of the gift shop trio, but I don't think that he is. I think that he's the first brawler in a new trio. Let's just call it the Star Park trio for now. Now, I don't believe that they're all going to be stuntmen, more so just workers at the park. Perhaps the new trio will be the Star Park Union of Disgruntled Employees. Anyone? Spood? So if we're going to be getting a new environment in the next update, it would make sense for it to be one of these 2 trios. Maybe a greenhouse environment for Rosa, Bee, and Sprout, but I think the more likely environment would be a Star Park environment. And there's a couple reasons for that. First, on Twitter the other day, Frank shared a link to one of the environment artists who works with Brawl Stars. Now, if you followed this link, you were brought to his portfolio of concepts for different environments, and many of the concepts are actually now implemented in-game. Ones like Retropolis, Daryl's Ship, the Starcade, the Town, Hero City, Snowtell, and others as well. There are a couple sketches, however, that are not in the game. First off, there's this really cool winter-themed igloo environment, or Igloo Isles, as he calls it. Now, we've had winter-themed maps before, but they were just basic reskins of blocks to make things kind of like feel like winter. This is a true different environment, and personally, I think it looks awesome, but unless a certain brawler comes into the game, and I'll show you one here in just a second, I don't think that this one fits. It just doesn't make sense right now. Now, the second environment, somewhat shown here, is the Star Park environment. Now, he does show the training cave and all the different concept sketches, and they look really cool. And some of the features that you see there did get implemented, and some of them weren't. Now, there are some very curious things in these sketches. First off, there are multiple places in these sketches where something has been covered up that they did not want us to see. This actually happens more frequently on the Star Park images than on any of the other ones. Now, clearly there's something here that they don't want us to know. What I think a lot of this alludes to is an actual Star Park environment. Not just like the entrance to the Star Park, like the training cave, but whatever is actually beyond the currently closed front gate. I don't know if this is going to happen this update, but I think in the not too distant future, we're going to see these gates open back up, leading into a Star Park courtyard. Maybe with that cool Colt fountain or something, I don't know. I just think that this will be the environment for the Star Park trio. And to top that off, I think that there's going to be a resurgence of things coming from the Star Park and the lore once again. Perhaps even the WKBRL live streams starting back up and not just repeating the same thing over and over again. That would be cool. But we do know that in an AMA with Danny right here on my channel, he mentioned near the end of the video that the Star Park mystery was not over. Okay, so what about a new brawler or other possible things that are coming in this update? And I feel like I need my Sherlock Holmes hat for this. Let's go. All right, now we're ready to be a detective. So, Brawl Stars just put out an image of Edgar and the inspiration behind him, which is the lead singer from My Chemical Romance, Gerard Way, and actually the caption of the tweet was from their song Helena. Anyway, in this image, we see a couple curious things. Now, there are some things that we know for sure, like the green barley poster. I mean, in the image you just see his hat, but we've seen this poster before in previous Edgar images located inside his locker. Now, two things that we don't know for sure, and I think that these are going to be tied to the new Brawler, are firstly, the paper in the safe. Now, the date isn't that much of a shock, April the 4th, which could very well be when the Brawl Talk will be posted on YouTube, either as a countdown or when it goes live. We don't really know, but on that piece of paper, the initial of who signed it is a bit curious. Now, it's a B, which many people have thought meant Brawl Talk. Decent idea, but if you zoom in really close, you'll see that there's a period after that B. Now, to me, that's more indicative of a first name, or maybe even a last name, depends on how they're called. But let's put a pin in that for just a moment, and we're going to come back to it, because in the same image, there's another really curious object on the upper left-hand side. Now, I've seen people on Reddit saying that that's a gadget, and while I can somewhat see the resemblance, I think that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, it's the wrong color, it's missing two of the nubs, and it just doesn't quite make sense to have a picture of a gadget that's a different color. I don't know, I don't get it, but now I've sat here and stared at this image for quite some time. I've tried cross-referencing things in the game, even in the investor video, but in the end, I couldn't find anything. So I went back to the other image of Edgar at his locker, and I noticed this. Who or what is that? Now, the shape is basically the same as the other object in the other image, the one right by the roses. Now, on the other image, there's no face, of course, and it's entirely possible that these two are not connected at all. However, it is coincidental, at least, of the same, shape. Then also, in this image, we see something else. Now, take a look at the backpack. The letter B, with a period after it. Now, it also says blood, but that could be a reference to the song Blood from My Chemical Romance, who, again, we've already established that Edgar is inspired after. The same initial and the period that we see in the safe. Again, these things could be totally separate things, but if nothing else, it's rather curious. So then, how does all of this info relate to a possible new brawler in this update? To be honest, I don't know that it does. This one, again, has been really hard to, kind of pinpoint because Brawl Stars has been really stingy with clues. Maybe they realized I was on to them and I'm getting too many right. They're like, no, we're just going to have to throw Lex for a loop here. Well, you got me, because I don't know. I don't know what this next brawler is going to be, but we went with this little guy right here. His name is Bert. Why? I don't know, because it started with a B. Billy? Bob? I'm really lame at naming brawlers. So we're just going to go with Bert here. Bert is going to be working in the gift shop. He's going to be mischievous. Maybe steals money or, gifts from the shop, and he's always got to be on his guard. Colette's always looking out for Bert. That's what I'm saying. He would be fun to play. What would he do? I have no clue. Now, I mentioned a brawler in an igloo environment earlier, and there have been multiple occasions where a snowman has shown up. In the investor video, in the sprout drawing, here in the sketches of the environments itself, and perhaps it's possible that we see a snowman brawler at some point. Then again, maybe these are all references to Snowman Tick. I mean, I'm not quite sure, but what about a brawler this update? And to be quite frank, I'm not sure. Now, when I predicted Ruffs, I was like dead. I was confident. I was super confident. And my Stu prediction was actually like half big brain, half laziness, to be honest. But for the next brawler, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something rather odd. Something along the lines of Tick or Sprout or Frank, something like nonsensical and just wild. Now, I do think that we might be seeing the gift shop get its trio completed. Maybe like a mascot, maybe the manager of the gift shop. But this update, honestly, I don't have a solid prediction of what's going to be coming. It's just some of these random ideas that have been rolling around, and honestly, Brawl Stars has been pretty stingy with the clues. I haven't been able to figure it out, or maybe they're out there and I just haven't seen them yet. Oh, and just one more wild theory to throw out there for you all. In the newspaper promo for the Brawl Stars esports video, there was a part that mentioned a unique voice. Now, I've long thought that we're going to see a brawler that's related to Spike. Even back in beta, it was mentioned on Spike's unlock screen that he was possibly not the last of his kind. So perhaps this unique voice comment is a reference to Spike not having a voice. Maybe a relative is going to show up in game. Okay, so what about some other things that are going to be coming into the game? I got some ideas. First off, Hot Zone and Siege in the map maker. Now, these were originally supposed to come out in March, but the team had so many issues with Power League and the bugs that it had that they pretty much spent all their time finishing that up, and they didn't get around to the map maker editions. So for sure, be looking for these in the next update. We also need, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to agree with me, some balance changes. First off, Mr. P needs a nerf, and so does Amber and Stu for that matter. On top of that, some gadgets are just like way better than their counterparts. For instance, take Mr. P's second gadget. It's way better than his first gadget, and it needs balance. Also, there's some other brawlers who don't even have second gadgets, so I'd be looking for them to add more second gadgets as well. And then further down the line, Frank did mention on Twitter that they were looking into being able to create friendly power play matches. This is something that is really cool and it would allow people to like run their own little tournaments in the power play format. That would be really awesome. Now, of course, we've got the normal things like, new skins. We're going to be getting some new skins, a new, Brawl Pass season, which you ought to be using code LEX for that. So anyways, those are some of my ideas for the next update in Brawl Stars. This has been a tough one for me to figure out, and honestly, I haven't been able to figure it out quite yet. I need your help, so if you have any cool ideas, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you've got any cool theories or something that you think that you've got it figured out, let me know. Anyways, that's going to be it. And as always, until next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.